Your phone has made you the smartest human in history and also dumber than a caveman. Sometimes in the same 5 minutes, you can instantly access the entire knowledge of humanity, solve complex math problems, and navigate anywhere on Earth. But you can't remember your best friend's phone number, get lost without GPS, and need a calculator to figure out a 20% tip. It's like having a supercomputer surgically attached to your brain that also gives you amnesia. So is your smartphone making you brilliant or brain dead? Let's start with the obvious problem. We've basically outsourced our brains to a pocket computer. Remember when people used to memorize phone numbers? Your grandparents could rattle off dozens of them from memory. You probably can't even remember your own phone number without checking your settings. This isn't just nostalgia talking. Scientists call it digital amnesia, and it's real. Studies show that 44% of people admit their smartphone is basically their memory now, containing everything they need to know or recall. It's like we've all developed voluntary amnesia and handed our memories over to a device that can die if you drop it in the toilet. Think about navigation. Before GPS, people actually knew how to get places. They understood directions, remembered landmarks, could read maps. Now, we blindly follow a robot voice telling us to turn left in 500 meters without having any clue where we actually are. Research shows that heavy GPS users perform worse on spatial memory tests and have declining navigation skills over time. We've basically trained ourselves to be geographically helpless. And math? Forget about it. We pull out calculators to figure out simple tips, split bills, or calculate basic percentages. Your great-grandparents did complex arithmetic in their heads because they had to. We can't do 15% of 80 without digital assistance. It's like we've voluntarily forgotten how numbers work. The attention span thing is even scarier. Studies show that just having your phone visible, not even using it, reduces your cognitive performance on tests. Your brain is literally using mental energy just to resist looking at your phone, leaving less brain power for actual thinking. It's like trying to concentrate while someone waves a bag of candy in front of your face. We've become so dependent on spell check that many people can't spell common words anymore. Autocorrect has become our external brain for language, and when it fails, we're stuck writing like we're texting from 2003. Your and your have become interchangeable mysteries that only our phones can solve. But here's where things get weird. The digital amnesia problem runs deeper than just forgetting phone numbers. We're actually rewiring our brains to be terrible at remembering anything we think we can look up later. Researchers found that when people know information will be available later, they remember less of the actual information but more about where to find it. It's like our brains have become librarians who forgot how to read but are really good at remembering which shelf has which book. Except the library can run out of battery or lose signal, leaving us stranded without access to our own knowledge. The GPS dependency is particularly brutal. Scientists tracked people's navigation skills over 3 years and found that the more someone used GPS, the worse their spatial memory became over time. These weren't people who started with bad navigation skills. Heavy GPS use actually caused their spatial abilities to decline. We're literally making ourselves more lost by relying on technology to never be lost. And the multitasking thing that phones encourage. Complete disaster for our brains. When we try to text while walking, check emails during conversations, or scroll social media while watching TV, our brains aren't actually multitasking. They're rapidly switching between tasks. Each switch costs mental energy and reduces our performance on everything. Studies show that people who are chronic smartphone multitaskers have reduced attention spans, worse working memory, and decreased ability to focus deeply on anything. It's like we've trained our brains to have digital ADHD. We're creating a generation of people who can't concentrate on one thing for more than a few minutes without reaching for their phones. The really scary part: Even when phones are turned off and put away, heavy smartphone users show reduced cognitive performance. Their brains have been so conditioned to expect constant stimulation that they struggle to function normally without it. It's like digital withdrawal, but for your thinking abilities. But here's the plot twist that changes everything. Your smartphone isn't just making you dimmer. It's actually making you cognitively superhuman in ways that would make previous generations jealous. You literally carry more knowledge than entire universities used to contain, and you can access it faster than any human in history. Recent research from University College London completely flipped the digital amnesia narrative. They found that when people use digital devices to store important information, it doesn't just help them remember that information. It actually frees up their mental resources to remember more things overall. Their memory performance improved by 18% for high-priority information and 27% for low-priority information. It's like having a personal assistant for your brain. Instead of cluttering your memory with phone numbers and directions, you can use that mental space for creative thinking, problem-solving, and learning new skills. Your phone becomes an extension of your memory, not a replacement for it. And that GPS dependency? It might not be making you dumber about navigation. It might be making you smarter about everything else. When you don't have to spend mental energy remembering every turn and landmark, you can actually pay attention to your surroundings, have conversations with passengers, or think about other problems while traveling. Your phone also acts as a cognitive amplifier for complex thinking. You can research any topic instantly, fact-check information in real time, access expert knowledge, and solve problems that would have taken previous generations days or weeks to figure out. You're not just remembering information, you're processing and synthesizing knowledge at superhuman speeds. The calculator thing isn't making you worse at math, it's making you better at mathematical thinking. When you don't have to waste time on basic arithmetic, you can focus on understanding concepts, solving complex problems, and applying mathematical reasoning to real-world situations. It's like having a mathematical superpower that lets you skip the boring parts and get to the interesting challenges. Here's what's really fascinating. Your phone doesn't just store information, it actually changes how you think and process the world. Philosophers call this the extended mind theory. The idea that tools can become genuine extensions of our cognitive abilities, not just external aids. When you use your phone skillfully, it becomes part of your thinking process. You're not just looking things up. You're engaging in what scientists call cognitive offloading. You strategically delegate certain mental tasks to technology so you can focus your biological brain on higher-level thinking. Studies show that people who effectively use smartphones as cognitive tools perform better on complex reasoning tasks, creative problem-solving, and decision-making. They're not using their phones as crutches. They're using them as cognitive enhancements that make their thinking more powerful and efficient. The key difference is intentional use versus passive dependency. People who consciously choose what to remember versus what to offload to their devices show improved cognitive performance overall. They're making strategic decisions about how to allocate their mental resources, like a CEO delegating tasks to focus on big-picture strategy. And if you're finding this smartphone paradox as fascinating as I am, you might want to subscribe to Weirdly Brilliant. We're exploring more mind-bending contradictions in how technology affects our brains. Even the attention span concerns might be overblown. While phones can distract us, they also give us access to engaging, educational content that can actually improve our attention when used purposefully. Someone learning a new language through their phone, following complex video tutorials, or engaging with challenging puzzles is actually training their attention span, not destroying it. Today, scientists understand that the smartphone effect on intelligence isn't simply good or bad. It depends entirely on how you use it. Your phone can be either a cognitive crutch that makes you helpless or a cognitive enhancement that makes you superhuman. The research shows that people fall into two categories: passive consumers and active users. Passive consumers let their phones do the thinking for them. They mindlessly follow GPS without learning routes, rely on autocorrect without learning spelling, and consume information without processing it. These people do show signs of digital amnesia and reduced cognitive abilities, but active users treat their phones as thinking tools. They use GPS to explore new areas, but also pay attention to landmarks and routes. They use spell check as a learning tool to improve their writing. They fact-check information and cross-reference sources instead of just believing the first result. These people show enhanced cognitive performance. The difference is metacognition, thinking about thinking. Active users are aware of how they're using their devices and make conscious choices about when to rely on technology versus when to use their own mental abilities. They're not replacing their intelligence, they're augmenting it. Modern smartphones also enable new forms of learning and problem-solving that weren't possible before. You can collaborate with people around the world, access real-time data, visualize complex information, and engage with interactive educational content. These capabilities represent genuine cognitive enhancements that expand what human minds can accomplish. The smartphone intelligence paradox teaches us something crucial about the relationship between humans and technology. Tools aren't inherently good or bad for our minds. It depends on how we integrate them into our cognitive processes. Think about it historically. Writing was once considered a threat to human memory. Socrates worried that people would become forgetful if they could write things down instead of memorizing them. But writing didn't make us dumber. It made us capable of more complex thinking by freeing our minds from the burden of memorizing everything. Your smartphone represents the next evolution of cognitive tools. Like writing, it can either diminish your thinking if used passively or enhance it dramatically if used skillfully. The key is developing what researchers call digital wisdom, knowing when to think for yourself and when to leverage technology. This has huge implications for education and personal development. Instead of trying to compete with our devices or avoid them entirely, we should learn to partner with them effectively. That means developing strong foundational skills while also learning to use technology as a cognitive amplifier. The most successful people aren't those who reject smartphones or those who become completely dependent on them. They're the people who have learned to dance with technology, using it strategically while maintaining their own cognitive independence. Smartphone intelligence paradox reveals something profound about human adaptation and evolution. We've always been tool-using creatures who extend our capabilities through technology. Your phone isn't replacing your mind. It's the latest chapter in the story of humans creating external supports for thinking. Every transformative technology creates this same paradox. Books made us forget oral traditions, but enabled complex literature. Calculators made us forget arithmetic, but enabled advanced mathematics. Cars made us forget how to walk long distances, but enabled global mobility. The question isn't whether smartphones make us smarter or dumber. It's whether we're using them to become the kinds of thinkers we want to be. Your phone gives you access to superhuman capabilities, but it also requires superhuman wisdom to use well. This paradox also challenges our assumptions about what intelligence means in the modern world. Pure memorization and basic calculation are becoming less important, while skills like information synthesis, critical thinking, and creative problem-solving are becoming more valuable. So does your phone make you smarter or dumber? The answer is both, and it depends entirely on you. Used passively, it can create digital amnesia, attention problems, and cognitive dependency. Used actively, it can enhance your memory, amplify your thinking, and give you superhuman problem-solving abilities. The real insight is that your smartphone is neither friend nor enemy to your intelligence. It's a mirror that reflects how thoughtfully you approach thinking itself. People who are intentional about their cognitive processes use phones as powerful thinking tools. People who are passive about their mental lives become dependent on their devices. The next time you reach for your phone, ask yourself, am I using this to enhance my thinking or replace it? Am I building cognitive skills or outsourcing them? Am I becoming more capable or more helpless? Your phone has the potential to make you the smartest version of yourself that has ever existed. But it also has the potential to turn you into a cognitively dependent zombie who can't function without digital assistance. The choice and the responsibility is entirely yours. What do you think? Are you using your phone as a cognitive enhancement or a cognitive crutch? Let me know in the comments. And if this made you rethink your relationship with technology, make sure to subscribe to Weirdly Brilliant. We're building a community of people who love exploring the surprising ways science intersects with daily life.